Massive brain versus big ass coin, a statistical study in football point spread betting. My friend and I were talking recently about setting up our annual football pool, and he decided he wanted to put in the point spread this year so that we would be not just picking the winners, but picking the winners given the Vegas spread. And at first I thought that sounded like fun, but then the more I thought about it, it occurred to me that it's really going to kind of take all the skill out of the game. And in fact, in my opinion, it evens up the team so much that it really brings the selection of a winner basically down to the luck of the draw. And I discussed this with him, and he couldn't disagree more. In fact, he felt that with his encyclopedic knowledge of football and his massive brain, that he had a much better chance of winning on a week-to-week basis than pure luck. And I kind of dug my heels in on this, and I said, no, I don't think so. I think that this is straight up luck at this point. So to test this theory, we came up with a challenge. Now, before getting into the details of that, let's get a little background on how the point spread works. First off, the Vegas point spread is not set by any one person. It literally emerges from the betting actions of millions of football experts placing their hard-earned money on Team A or Team B, moving the spread back and forth until it evenly splits the number of bets on each side. And as a consequence of involving millions of people, it actually builds in all available information into the point spread. And what that means is that somebody who's trying to study the injury reports, for example, is not going to be able to uncover some piece of information that tens of thousands of other people haven't already uncovered and built into the spread. Which brings us to the third point, that the spread is actually a consensus decision. And anyone who knows anything about organizational behavior or has read any studies or been involved in that can tell you that it's been proven over and over again that consensus decisions are better than individual decisions, even when you have expert individuals. Very analogous to the efficient stock market theory, which is that no one investor or no one team of investors can consistently, through their analysis and expertise, consistently beat the market. You can do it for short periods of time, maybe 5 years, 10 years. There's even explanations for how that can happen, but overall, it's in my opinion proven that the market is efficient, and in my opinion, point spreads are efficient as well. And so my conjecture here is that over the next 17 weeks, with 256 games, the probabilities that the spread is a random choice is going to play out, and that there's really no way to beat the spread. Which brings me to my theory, which I will call the efficient point spread theory. And this theory states that no one person has better information than everyone else. That no one person can outguess or outthink everyone else. That nothing can be done to improve one's chances. And nothing can be done to even worsen one's chances of winning. Therefore, no methodology is better or worse than any other for picking winners, and ipso facto, which means it stands on its own, that using, say, a big ass coin is as good as using a massive brain to pick winners. So to test this theory, we designed this challenge. The hypothesis of this challenge is that over the course of the 2011 NFL regular football season, my friend's massive football brain will not make better picks than my big-ass coin on a statistically significant basis. A statistically significant basis being the key term here. The structure of the experiment is as follows. We started off with a $20 bet and quickly trash-talked it up to $40. So over the course of the next 17 weeks during the 2011 regular season, both the massive brain and the big-ass coin is going to make picks of weekly winners in the Yahoo Pick'em pool using the point spreads. Whoever has the most winners in a given week wins the entire week. So for example, if the big-ass coin picks 9 winners in the week and the massive brain picks 11, the massive brain wins the week. If the big-ass coin picks 5 winners and the massive brain picks only 2, the big-ass coin wins the week. So whether you win or lose a given week by 1 game or 6 games, it doesn't matter. You only win or lose that week, and there is no carryover to the next week. The next point here is very important. Ties go to the big-ass coin. That is, if both the massive brain and the big-ass coin pick the same number of winners, then that week is a tie and it goes into the big-ass coin's win column. This is because the massive brain asserts that it is not just as good, but actually better than the big-ass coin. So what do we mean by statistically significant? Usually that means it's sort of a 90th percentile event. And so we structured this contest in such a way that Bob's brain not only has to flat out win a week in order to get it into its win column, but it actually has to win 10 or more of the 17 weeks in order for the hypothesis to be rejected. So let's take a look at the probabilities of that happening. Let's start with the fact that ties go to the big-ass coin. Using the binomial theorem, we can show that 14% of the time the week will end in a tie between the massive brain and the big-ass coin. This means that approximately 2 of the 17 weeks are going to end in a tie, which really only leaves about 15 weeks for the massive brain to pull out 10 plus wins. So 10 plus wins out of 17 is already 59%. But if we think in terms of 10 plus out of 15 weeks, we can see that his threshold is really 67% of the winnable weeks have to be won by Bob's brain in order to win this contest. In fact, if we grind out the numbers, we can show that when we factor in the ties, that Bob's brain really only has a 43% chance of winning any given week. That's because 14% of the weeks are going to end in a tie, which leaves only 86% of the weeks that will be won by one or the other. Half of that is 43%. So when you put all those factors together, it should be kind of clear that the big-ass coin will most likely win. However, it's not guaranteed. But when we use the binomial theorem to do the calculations, we can show that the odds of Bob's brain winning this bet are less than 15%. Conversely, the odds of the big-ass coin winning are greater than 85%. And that is statistically significant. So stay tuned. Each week, I will report the previous week's results and the overall status of the contest. I will then flip my big-ass coin for the coming week. So here's how we're going to keep track. Each week, the winner of that week will get another horizontal block added to their running total. The first player to reach his respective finish line wins the contest and the $40. For the big-ass coin, the finish line is 8 wins, or ties, and for the massive brain, the finish line is 10 wins. So for example, let's say after 3 weeks, the big-ass coin won the first week, and then the massive brain won the second and third. The chart will look like this, with the big-ass coin having 1 week towards its finish line, and the massive brain having 2 weeks towards its finish line. What I'm predicting is that after 15 weeks, I think the chart's going to look something like this. That's right. I expect to have this thing wrapped up by about the 15th week, at which point the null hypothesis, that the massive brain is statistically significantly better, will be rejected and I will win the $40. But I can't do this alone. I need your help. I need your big-ass coins. Each week I would like to use a different military coin, but I only have 2 to start, so I need you guys to send me some more. Send your branch, unit, event, or personal challenge coin to me, and I will do my best to get it into the coming week's video. I didn't want to put my address directly in the presentation, so click on the Show More tag under the description to this video to get the address to mail your coins. So come on guys, let's make this a team effort. Send in your challenge coins and check back each week and see how we're doing against the massive brain. For those of you who are mathematically inclined and want to verify my calculations, go on to part 2 of this presentation. Everyone else, just go straight on to the first week's picks.